is your Shimmy Queen, Zian, and I'm here to share with you the tutorial on how to do shoulder shimmies. The shoulder shimmies are pretty much shoulder shakes. When it comes to the shoulder shimmies, there are actually two levels. We have the beginner level and the advanced level. Just to clarify, the advanced level is what I call the chest shimmies. In this tutorial, we're only going to be learning the beginner level, which is the shoulder shimmy. If you'd like to advance to the chest shimmy, you actually need to be able to master the shoulder shimmy first before you can even attempt to do the chest shimmy. Why? Because the fundamental muscle you'll be using is the same. If you can't even get the shoulder shimmy right, there is no way you're going to be able to do the chest shimmy. Look out for my tutorial on how to do the chest shimmy. In the meantime, let's learn about the shoulder shimmy. So to do the shoulder shimmy, it is like a shake, but please don't think about shaking yourself. First things first, posture is very important. You must make sure that your core is engaged to provide a strong foundation with which you can do your shoulder shimmy. Your shoulders must be pressed down away from your ears. You cannot do the shoulder shimmy like this. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Also, make sure that you are relaxed. So you've got your core engaged, chest is slightly forward, your back is at a neutral position, and your shoulders are down away from your ears. When doing the shoulder shimmies, try to think of your shoulders being on one plane, as if it's one piece of wood. During the shoulder shimmy, the shoulders will take turns to move forward and back, and this happens at the same time. So when one shoulder moves back, the other shoulder will move forward. And then when this shoulder moves back, this shoulder will move forward. So the shoulders take turns to move forward and back, and the opposing shoulders must move at the same time. You cannot have them move separately. That's kind of weird, and I honestly don't know how to keep this up. So think of this as one continuous plane, like a piece of wood, but of course you are more flexible than a piece of wood. So as this goes forward, this goes back, and likewise. To show you from the side, this is what it will look like. Now, the shoulder shimmy is actually initiated from your shoulder blade, not from the top of your shoulders. So a lot of people think that shoulder shimmy start from the top. And actually, that doesn't quite work, because if you're trying to use this muscle to move forward and back, you don't actually have much control and not much power. The shoulder shimmy movement actually is initiated from your shoulder blades. So you got to think of your shoulder blades moving like this. Another very important note is that you have to always pull back, 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 back. A lot of people think that when it comes to shoulder shimmies, they have to push forward. Watch me from the side as I push forward. What happens when you push forward is that your chest tends to collapse and you get this rounded back, and then you lose your posture. To make this look good, remember, posture is important, so chest up, pull back, 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 back. And that's how you can keep the motion going with the chest up, looking beautiful, and with excellent posture. As you pull one shoulder back, the other shoulder should move forward naturally. Don't even try to do both at the same time, pulling back and pushing forward. That's just going to be too much power, and you're going to look like one of those dudes who's trying too hard to look cool. Keep it relaxed. Always let the natural movement of your shoulders follow what you're doing. Shoulders are pulling back. So when doing the shoulder shimmies, always pull the shoulders back one at a time, one after the other. So for example, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. In order to improve, just keep practicing so that you can finally get this up to speed. Someone once suggested to me that an easier way to do the shoulder shimmy is to pull one shoulder back only instead of both shoulders one at a time. How they explained it is to find your dominant side and just pull one shoulder back. The argument was the shoulder shimmy would still look the same and you're using half the energy you normally would. Honestly speaking though, I find it doesn't work, because when you have one dominant side, you'll tend to pull that side more clearly and the other side would barely move. And as you can see in my case, one side is really strong and the other side is just half asleep. So I find that in order to create a more powerful, balanced look, you must use both shoulders. Train your weaker shoulder to pick up the slack. So work both shoulders. Otherwise, you'll have one beautiful set of biceps and the other side is just a dead fish. So as always, whenever practicing something new, always go slow first. Train your muscles so that they know how to move. So the shoulders need to be able to identify, okay, after I've moved this one back, this one now needs to go back. So they need to learn that they need to move in turn to the back. Once your shoulders know what to do, then what you do is you slowly increase the speed and then go faster and faster and faster so that you'll be able to do the shoulder shimmy. Now, a common mistake that a lot of beginners do when they're trying to practice the shoulder shimmy is that the hips take over instead. So they're trying to do this, but somehow their hips start doing this. This isn't even the hip shimmy because you can see that the hips are just rotating forward and back. These are hip twists, not hip shimmies. These are hip shimmies. This is because a lot of beginners don't have the flexibility in the upper body, especially if they've never quite used their upper body, their rib cage. The hips is something they tend to use more even if they don't exercise because, everyone will try to twist once in a while just to release the tension in their back. So that's why when they're trying to do the shoulder shimmy, the hips end up taking over. So an excellent way to try to train your body to recognize it's the shoulders that are supposed to move and not the hips is to sit on a chair. So sit on a chair to train your hips to stay quiet and work on your shoulders. Back, 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 back. If you start feeling your hips are moving around, tell it to stay quiet and try again. Shoulders back, 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 back. Here's a secret tip. The shoulder shimmy is something you can practice anywhere because all you need to do is just sit down and practice your shoulders. And you know the best place to practice a shoulder shimmy? In a traffic jam. Because you're seated there anyway, you have the steering wheel, you can even hold the steering wheel and force your shoulders to recognize, okay, I'm supposed to move. Since you're not going anywhere anyway and you're in a seated position, then just practice your shoulder shimmies. It doesn't matter if people are observing you from the side. You can just go, hi, come and practice a shoulder shimmy with me. After all, it's your shoulder shimmy that you want to master. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. I hope you found this shoulder shimmy tutorial to be helpful. Do click like and subscribe because I will be sharing more shimmy tips and tutorials, and I will also be sharing ShimmyFitz choreography and workouts on a regular basis. Happy shimmying!